I've been up and down. Oh, I'm gonna fart. I'm gonna fart. I had to. Sorry. No. Whoa, got some light going on in the TV set there. It's giving us a little bit. I didn't even notice it was there until I just turned on the video. Video tends to be more sensitive to colors and stuff like that than other formats, and well, I don't know. Whatever formats they're on, I just say video, pictures. I don't know. Tends to be more. No, I don't. Actually, it's just this iPad because it's adjusting. I'm fucked up. I'm not drinking or anything. I'm just fucked up because I just woke up and I've been trying to. Been trying to. Been trying to sleep, and my sleeping. I hardly ever enter REM, so it's my sleep's very light, and you get what are called vivid dreams, and that is that your dreams are very close to the same time it takes in reality for you to. I mean, it's like an hour passes by and you expect it to be like 4 hours, but really it's just an hour of dreaming, and so it's very frustrating. you know you think you've like had enough sleep and you haven't, and you just had really vivid long dreams, and so it's like you're spending all night trying to get sleep and you're having dreams that are very weird, just like they normally would be, but they just the average time that you spend sleeping when having the dreams, usually your dreams would be very short and you would wake up like 8 hours later. With me, it's like I wake up 4 hours later and it felt like I had 4 hour dream, and so it's really annoying. Anyhow, I'm gonna have to track down one of my. I got a 5 terabyte drive, so now I can start backing up junk off my SSD to the hard drive. I also got a drive copier, but I'm not quite satisfied by it because it's well, it costs $25, but it clones drives, but it doesn't stuff the drives full of the data that you clone from. It says it just immediately erases the target drive, which really pisses me off because they could waste the coding to make it so that they stuff the drive, either not repartitioning it, but giving you an option to like copy the data to the drive and then just stuff the drive full of copies of the data from the source. But they do it in a direct clone, which is not always what you want. And they think it's a big deal. They think it's really great that they can do this, and you're like, well, no, your little device, all it's got inside of it is either an embedded device or it's basically an embedded device with a Linux running on it. And if it's got Linux running on it, you could put anything in there, but they just, you know, you could use it to back up drives. See, the thing is, I don't want to be sitting there waiting for my Windows machine to, or not my Windows machine, but my Linux machine to be sitting there copying data to a drive while I'm sitting there wanting to do something else with it. And so I'll probably just end up getting another computer or something, a really small computer, just to do backups and stuff. But the thing about it is you want a really fast USB, and you want, I mean, you want all the benefits of a big machine, but you want to be able to do it with no machine at all, have a device to do that. And it's really, the world is fucked up in that there are people that don't really strive to make really good shit. They spend they figure if they can get this far, they're going to satisfy the majority of the population, and the people that the 10-20% of people don't even matter, so fuck them, you know. And that's the way they feel, and they don't try to strive for excellence. There's like some, like a good, I'd say like 70% of the companies out there do not strive for excellence. They strive for just satisfying the status, you know, the, what is it, status quo, the just satisfying a good majority of the people out there. They don't try to satisfy everybody. I mean, you can't really satisfy everybody, but you can strive for excellence, which is about trying to do that. It's not achieving it, it's trying to do that. There's a difference, you know. You'll never probably achieve perfection, but you can always strive for it. And if you're in a business, and you know, there isn't a whole lot of businesses that do that. They can say it, but it doesn't mean that they're doing it. You know? The track record is going to show that off, but some of them are just kind of like, no, there's no, we have no incentive to. Oh, what the fuck is going on with my? I mean, I really shouldn't say this, but the thing is that I don't sell my stuff. If I sold my stuff, it'd be a different matter. You know, I'd be striving for excellence myself, but you know, sometimes you just want to be yourself, and you don't strive for excellence. You just strive to be. You're being yourself. There's a lot more freedom in your capacity to be yourself than there is in business. Business is always a different thing, because you're trying to put the best foot forward. This thing. Oh, I know what happened. If I aim it at black, it's going to adjust the video to. If I press there, it's going to adjust the video. And I have to. There we go. It's going to adjust the. If you. I was trying to clean the lens, and anyhow, that was the major news. I got myself a 5 terabyte drive. It was about $100 on Amazon Prime. It's a hard drive. It's not an SSD. I've got a 0.5 terabyte SSD, and so external, and you know, that thing's kind of cool. Let me see if I've got it right here. Yeah, it's sitting right here, I think. Yeah, there it is. This is the SSD, and it's not that big. It's not even a 2.5. It's like something smaller than that. And see what it says there. Turn that over and see if we can. It's backwards, because the stupid iPad tries to make it, you know, and tries to keep things simple, but it's like a mirror, you know. And anyhow, the very small drive, and it's just it's a 0.5 terabyte. And they got other SSDs, you know, they're like a terabyte. I suppose there are SSDs that go all the way up to 4 or 5 terabytes. But for every 0.5 terabyte, it costs about like $100. And so like a terabyte would be like $200 or something like that. But the terabyte SSDs are really nice. That they tend to be low power. They don't have any moving parts, and because they don't have any moving parts, they will last a lot longer than a hard drive, which, you know, over time tends to get worse, you know. And because it's got moving parts, it's eventually going to crash, And unless you've got that data backed up, it's kind of so. But that depends on how much you use, I guess. And I'm probably going to sing today. I'm probably not going to sing. The reason why is because it's double XP Planet Side 2 weekend, and this is the last day. It's Sunday morning. And I've been making hand over fist certs. Certs are not what you don't pay for certs. You earn certs. And in Planet Side 2, every 250 XP equates a cert. And so if you made 10 certs, that means you made 20, what is it, 2,500? Yeah, 2,500 XP. So if you have, and if you've got a booster, then what would give somebody else 250 XP in my case, since my booster is plus the double XP, is jumping it up 450%. I'm getting like 5, 10, 15 certs for every 250 XP, or I mean for everything that has a certain amount of XP, I get like 5 or 6 times more. And so I can go around to stations destroying the turrets and make quite a bit of XP. I can go around with a Wasp, which is basically Valkyrie. It's a transport vehicle that's not very fast. It's like a flying bus. You can take those, and the Wasps are like flying ants. Ants are used for collecting corsham from crystals, from these purple crystals, or not purple crystals, these gold crystals that are kind of got lightning and stuff all over them. And for different ants, they do different things. Like there's one that makes it go up the sides of hills, and there's another that gives it a special barrier. There used to be one that was an invisible flash that it would turn invisible, but they took that out. I guess the idea was that it pissed off too many people, because what people use them for is to run people over, and it probably confused a lot of new users, and probably affected their reception from new users. So they removed it altogether. But the Wasp is from the campaigns. There's like certain vehicles they give you from the campaigns, or abilities. Like for the engineer, there's this little hoverbot thing that's supposed to help the engineer fix stuff, and I think it also defends the engineer. And you can get that through the campaign for about 50 currency of the campaign currency. Um, the campaign currency is complete worthless, aside from things that you could buy with it through the campaign. The campaign will give you was the ones that before we had lodestars for our galaxies, there was a lodestar galaxy, and the lodestar galaxies better than the galaxies because it has auto repair, and it has the lodestar capability. Whereas on the galaxy, you can't have repair and lodestar at the same time, and the only way you can do that is if you're an engineer. You got aircraft synergy. I end up flying my galaxies with the lodestar modules as an engineer, and having high aircraft synergy, which gives me some of the same effect of the original lodestar, and I get it at a discount, whereas the original lodestars you don't get at a discount. And I'm wanting them to finally fix the deliverer module for the ants, that would give us the capacity to have deliverers with better guns on them, because the default deliverer, which is it's basically an ant that can be deployed like a Sunday, and it can go up hills that Sundays can't, which gives it a certain advantage. Also, you can shoot while you're driving, which is really cool. But they screwed up on the PS4. They screwed up the ants. They made them so they couldn't deploy, and because of that, the deliverer module on the ants just give you the capacity to make an ammo supplying ant, but it can't deploy, so therefore it can't let people spawn on the ant. And as far as I know, it's still fucked up. And I told somebody on Reddit, and they said, "Oh, we got around to fixing that." And so supposedly there was a developer up there, and everybody was like, "Hey, you're a developer? I've got this problem here, blah blah blah." And it was probably somebody that was just bullshitting me, but that's the thing that always bugs me about Rogue is that it just doesn't seem like there's a connect between what the consumers want and what they provide. It's kind of like whatever is easy for Rogue to do, they'll do, but if it's not easy or if it's something they think is not really a great benefit, they just won't do it, like fixing the chat system or, you know, fixing the blue screen, which I believe is actually a feature that permits them to justifiably kick people off without ruining public perception. So you can blue screen them and then they think there's a problem with the program, or you can kick them outright and then you have to deal with the public relations in that. And so in one case they'll be forgiving, the other case they won't. So which one are they going to do? They're going to blue screen you. And so it's a strategy choice. It's a it's one where they don't have to deal with the public relations. And people just are forgiving if you have crashes in your program. And I don't, because I'm a programmer and I know that these guys, they're getting paid and they should have enough know-how to be able to dissect and fix memory problems in their programs, because you can debug the core and actually figure out what the find out where in the software the actual error is occurring. They could have fixed it, but my feeling is that it wasn't an error in the code. It was something they added to the code to permit them to do load balancing by kicking people off and having them reload into the system. That will make them probably want to go someplace else on the map, and therefore they fixed their server problems. They did this on Esamir. They added a kind of this lightning storm that goes around, and it always goes to the areas where there's an extreme pop, and something happens whenever they get too many people in an area. The server will crash. So what they do is they take this lightning storm and it goes to wherever there's a lot of users, and it pretty much tries to kill them off. And I think eventually people got pissed at that, or the claim is now that they fucked up Esamir, and so they don't offer Esamir as one of the maps on the PS2. On the PS4. And so now what we got, the rotation we got is right now it's because it changes with every time they update the program. The current rotation is Indar, Amarish, Hazen, and then Osher. And then it's back to Indar again. And but we don't have Esamir not anymore. And there's people that want the Snow Planet. I actually hated the Snow Planet, and I hated it even more that they pretty much melted down all the biolabs. Because biolabs, the traditional biolab is a great cert farm, and people love it for that. They love the big battles. And they just melted down Esamir, and they don't figure they can go back to the original Esamir with the biolabs because it doesn't fit their storyline. And storylines are fucked up because consumers don't give a shit about your story. Your story, your RPG stories, it only matters in RPGs where the storyline has a lot of depth to it. But Planet Side 2 is a joke. And their storyline, they've got this feeling that they're providing this great storyline and these consistency in the storyline. You can tell this has got to be an executive working through the coders that doesn't give a shit about the consumers, and they're so focused on creating the storyline, and they're not even assessing to see if the consumers even give shit about the story. The consumers will probably more likely say, we would like the original Esamir back that had the biolabs, not the melted down version, not the one that has this electrical storm. And they won't provide it because it's inconsistent. It's time inconsistent. And, you know, it's the way these fucktards work, you know. And, you know, that's the way the software industry works, is we don't go backwards, you know. Well, you realize that technology doesn't always improve. Um, the technology gets lost. Good shit gets lost because of proud, arrogant fucks who keep keep thinking what they're improving, what they're really is changing. They're losing shit, you know. And they're not assessing the value of the shit they've got. And when they make an update, you know, it's like it sticks. This is what we're sticking with. We're not going back to whatever we had. And they do that with, I mean, that happens across the board. And so much good shit has been lost in the past because they keep changing. The other thing is the reason why they do that changing bit, it's commercial software that makes you want to change your code all the time. You keep updating it, you keep going. If you were to go backwards, then it would, to some people, it'd be like, why did we make all this change if we could stick well with the original that was this way? Well, the thing is that if they stuck with that, they wouldn't make any money. So what they do is they keep changing the shit. They keep adding stuff to it. They keep taking away this or that, and it's all because of some other motive that they got that has nothing to do with what the consumer wants. And that's the and the thing they don't understand is that they are driving the desire for consumers either to move from their platform or to go to an open source platform. And eventually all the consumers over time will come to the realization that open source is better than anything commercial. Because with open source, you never lose it, and you always get exactly what you want or exactly what you can get. Um, Everything is since to be possible over time with open source, such as with Blender. You know, the artists tend to it becomes the Swiss Army knife because it does all the stuff that you can't get the commercial versions to do. Because the commercial versions, certain things make sense to them, other things don't. They're not going to give you a Swiss Army knife of things to fix your 3D graphics with. They're going to give you what they'll give you Wizbang features. They don't give you need things you need, and commercial software doesn't push for things you need. It tends to push for things that are kind of more whiz bang, like artificial intelligent algorithms that can recognize something and augment it, which is kind of a whiz bang feature, but it might not actually be what you need. You know. Anyhow, I'm gonna cut this off because it's getting